For starters, all of the weapons in the Brave Arsenal will now be releasing on April 30th. Here we are. We're back in the Whisper as well. You know, back in the day, there was a very bespoke way of getting into the Whisper. You had to kind of hang out on IO, wait for this mysterious portal to come up. But we've made some changes to that as well. I think you were mentioning before we hopped on the air.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was a victim of it, right? We had the public event with the RNG, and you had to wait for the right one, and that we just had to change that, right? And the team was excited about having a new, benefactor, a new character that you go and talk to. So you'll be talking to Eris Morn. Eris Morn is going to tell you some really cool stuff. I don't want to give it away.
Smart, yeah.
But you're not going to have to deal with the frustrating trigger to get in anymore.
How have you gone ahead and made sure that it's fresh for those veteran Guardians out there?
If you think you know where the chests are, if you think you know where all the secrets are, if you think you know where all the surprises are, you don't, because they're different. All those old guides and all the old walkthroughs, they're going to have to be remade. Even though I'll just give one away. When you first get in, there's that first secret chest room on the right.
Right.
The anomaly has taken care of that. It's not there anymore.
Anomaly has taken care of it.
There's more surprises.
Willie, actually on your side, are there any changes in particular that you're excited about with this updated version?
I'm excited about the way that the boss fight has changed for this activity.
Interesting. All right, well, we'll leave that to folks to go ahead and discover on their own when it comes to the launch date of the Whisper. But yes, this is a first look for the folks out there who are looking to go ahead and make sure that they're ready on day one to go ahead and add another craftable exotic into their collection. Obviously, the Whisper is going to be there for you. So also, we found ourselves now, we're in the beginning stages here of the Whisper we can see on screen. Willie, we kind of touched on this briefly over the course of the Whisper, but can you tell us a little bit about what it was like sort of reinventing these combat spaces and these encounters for Guardians in a modern sandbox, especially those that are going to have the Brave Arsenal available to them?
Yeah, so just now you saw a brig in this encounter, which there wasn't one before. I think there's the desire to keep the soul of the activity, which is that, there's time pressure on me to finish this activity quickly, and also I'm going up against powerful enemies that are trying to stop me from doing that. So we wanted to make sure that the combat still felt challenging, even in today's sandbox, so we added some new combatants with the brig. And we also just increased the number of combatants, period, so that players had more to do with their more diverse and deadly tools.
Actually, something too that I'm seeing pop up in chat here is the mention of the timer. So for starters, there's also, this is normal difficulty, there's also legend, isn't that right? Tom, can you tell us a little bit about like any updates to the timers in these missions as well?
So, Willie, feel free to hop and correct me if I'm wrong, but on normal, it's 40 minutes because we want to give players a little bit extra time, especially if you're new. We want this to be accessible. Everyone would get in there and get the experience. But a lot of our kind of like quests, content, and secrets are in the Legend version, which has a 20-minute timer.
Yes. Yep. So the whole secrets setup for 0 Hour is different. So, previously we had key cards. Those have been replaced by another secret system that you'll just have to find out more about for yourself.
Okay, now we're taking a quick look at the craftable exotics as well. We're going to go ahead and start with Whisper of the Worm.
And Whisper, it starts off with Mulligan, which is the classic perk where if you miss your shots, they get refunded. But if you upgrade it, you can get Field Prep, which will give you more shots, which equals more damage. And then there's No Distractions, which will allow you to keep under fire, hold your aim on your target better. And there's also Enlightened Action, which is for more forgiving reloads. So there's, I think, a lot of options for players at different play styles and different skill levels.
In addition to Outbreak Perfected, now joining the pool of craftable exotic weapons.
The second one, though, that we're added here is Rapid Hit, which plays right into that. So like you land your precision shots, you get more stability, you get faster reloads. Then another new one is Rewind Rounds. It's hard for me to say.
Fast,
try it out. Which refills your reserves from to minimize your reload. So like if you're hitting shots, you're just going to keep getting more ammo, which is really kind of interesting.
Perpetual motion machine, no perpetual death machine.
So it's like do you want the reloads, or you just want to keep shooting?
The ships are making a return as well, isn't that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so for both Whisper and for 0 Hour, they're coming back. Is it the exact same ship, or are there going to be changes on them?
No, these are actually new assets, right? They're new ships, so they won't be the same. They won't sit in the same spot in your inventory, and they are updated to look really cool and new. And I think they're exciting, especially we took the old scrap drifter ship that was I think not really loved particularly by the community, because it was literally scrapped together from spare parts to get built. And so we did a really nice pass on that. So it's inspired by the look of Outbreak Perfected, and I think it looks great. I think the community is going to love it.
Yeah.
And then we have the Whisper ship, 1,000 Wings. It's got a new design. So you'll still have your old 1,000 Wings. And if you have that equipped, players are going to know that you're OG and that you got it back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And the new one is going to look like the new one, so there won't be any mistaking the old one for the new one.
So this is the first one. This is here on Europa. Cooley, can you tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here today, or where we are?
Yes, so this map is called Eventide Labs, and this is a long-forgotten human colony research outpost on Europa. And so we really wanted to situate the maps in the universe and draw on that deep Destiny lore. But yeah, we definitely have a presence of Fallen here, set amongst the abandoned human, ice-encrusted structures of the past, which has been a really fun environment to work on. We definitely want to bring in as many new palettes as possible because there's so much great environment art content, and the palettes are really cool.
I've been kind of looking at through an artistic lens. What were some of the challenges or even kind of exciting opportunities potentially of finding new places for these maps to live in the more modern era of Destiny that we've been experiencing more recently?
Well, we really wanted to make sure that when we do an update like this, it's a major refresh to the map rotator, right? Like we're adding quite a bit of variety here.
A truly recently defunct, human colony or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
and this is also an opportunity for us to have a really clean architectural map that has a lot of, crisp edges and, very flat floors. The center atrium room that is really open and kind of, has this big pit in the middle, and then. There's this area down here, which is where a lot of objectives spawn, and there's some special ammo down here. But then there's also this place over here where the heavy ammo spawns, and players will oftentimes just pop up here to do a quick check and maybe try to get a cheeky kill on somebody who's maybe running from cover to cover. But just one of the examples of how it can really provide for a good PvP experience to have this sort of mark on the wall where you can kind of expect players to reside in.
Of the palette. So when you have an environment with a lot of entropy and there's just rubble everywhere, there's like garbage strewn around or plants hanging down, like we often do in Destiny, we have to declutter. That the team had to kind of wrangle into shape.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Cooley's going to talk about that process because it was quite a process.
Yeah. Actually, Cooley, I'd love to continue and just start there. Taking this space on a pyramid ship and kind of making it suitable for a PvP map. What was that process like from your perspective, kind of from more of a design side?
Yeah, it's again a process of back and forth. We start with mass out, and mass out is the simplest and cleanest a map will ever be, and from there we start developing the spatial character of the map. And one of the things we like to ask ourselves is, what is this place? And even with a more abstract palette like the Essence ship, it's worth asking that question because we can leverage spatial archetypes that just kind of naturally resonate with people. So here we have, in this map, we have sort of these dueling huts, or these dueling ziggurats. And
we got a quick question from chat from Jake Asor asking about, are we going to get a playlist or mode? It'll be just these new maps during Into the Light. And the answer is yes. When they launch on May 7th, we'll have a 3v3 playlist to go ahead and talk just about these items. I'd rather let you play just those maps. You may have heard us mention the word Pantheon in the TWID last week, or even on the show here last week potentially as well. We have got a brand new raid boss gauntlet rather, starting on April 30th. Now, there will be more information about this in an upcoming TWID. You'll have more details to dig into shortly, but you will have the Pantheon coming up, where you'll have an opportunity to face grueling raid bosses in a weekly challenge with escalating difficulties and rewards. When you dive on in on April 9th, actually, rather, before we get there, I'm sorry, we will have the opportunity to you'll have the opportunity to get a title through your course of Into the Light as well. So if you dive on in, go ahead and unlock all the triumphs associated with the seal, you'll be able to march into the final shape with a brand new title, Brave. And we have 3 really, really cool things hitting on April 9th when Into the Light launches. The first one is, if you're a new player, you got a buddy who's just jumping into the game for the first time, and you'd rather not hang out with Shahan and the Cosmodrome, then you have an opportunity to go ahead and just join the front lines. You can skip the New Light campaign, give Shahan maybe a high five on the way out, ask him for a weekly bounty when you're back later, but you have a chance to go ahead and meet up with your friends, head to the Hall of Champions, grab the Gift of the Thunderlords. We have a couple more things. We have some questions in chat about this as well from Itzepsky and Atlas Live TV. But on 4.9, you'll have the opportunity to also change the way your character looks. So you'll be able to go ahead and change your hair if you didn't like your haircut. If you want to go ahead and change your face paint. If you want to go ahead and risk it to be one of those Guardians who goes helmetless in the tower. I'm not sure if I'm brave enough, but I know many of you are. Your chance will be arriving very soon with Into the Light. And there will also be an opportunity to change your name. So Guardian 4681 out there, with the launch of Into the Light, we're also going to give you 1 more name change token. If you already have yours sitting around, I believe you have 2, but our friends in DPS will be able to answer that question for you. But you'll have that chance as well once Into the Light launches. Next week, we're going to be joining you again for a special developer preview of some gameplay for Destiny 2: The Final Shape. It'll be here, wherever you're watching live, you'll be able to go ahead and watch it on April 9th at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Where you'll get a chance to basically, again, get a look behind the scenes. The developers have been hard at work for some cool stuff that you are definitely not going to want to miss. And over the course of that show, Twitch drops will be live. So there'll be another emblem, which you can see here live on the screen, that'll be available after about 15 minutes of view time. If you haven't gone ahead and also unlocked the emblems that you got as a result of this show or that we're having available during the Into the Light streams, then you have a chance to go ahead and spend some more time unlocking those as well.